Hey guys, welcome back to Bizarre Anime Vibes. I'm your host Jofu, and I'm here with,
Drip Knight, nice to meet you.
and today we'll be talking about some of our favorite and least favorite villains across all of anime.
Oh yeah, we're here to discuss about sometimes what makes a good villain, a memorable villain, and sometimes some villains that they could have been good but got let down.
Oh, 100%. Villains make up a big part of the story, and a bad villain can make the story a lot worse, even if it was really well written. And a good villain can make a poor story a lot better.
Oh yeah, the villains often enough is to help raise up the hero.
The stakes, yeah.
Oh yeah, raise up the stakes, raise the situation.
If you have a bad villain, then what is the hero really, or the protagonist really up against?
I mean, yeah, some villains could just be a joke, and you don't take them seriously anymore. You're just wondering when will this fight end? It's dragging on so long.
100%. Anyway, before anything, don't forget to colossal smash that like button. Stay up to date with all our figure unboxing, podcasts, and more. Anyway, without further ado,
Let's
let's
get
jump in.
Anime villains. You cannot start any discussion without someone mentioning Golden Boy Freeza.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball's greatest villain that's ever been written. No debate at all. Frieza brings the fear. Frieza literally was introduced one chapter and already was beloved by everybody. Okay, not
Hear me out.
love.
Hear me out. King, um,
Piccolo?
no, Emperor Pilaf. Now that's peak villain character.
For Dragon Ball, sure. For OG Dragon Ball, we're in Z though.
Fair
We're
enough.
in the next level of the series.
Sure.
You know a little bit about Frieza, I assume.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I'm not at Z yet, but I know he exists. I know he has a gold form. I know everyone compares him to Mewtwo, and I know he's also one of the most not beloved, recognizable villains in anime
And why do you think he is?
because he showed up and shut up.
See, any villain can really do that. It takes a true villain and a true writer to make a villain that you just know, like, this character can do a lot wrong and has the power to talk and walk a walk.
Okay, a bit confused by what you mean there, but
Let me, Tom, let me break this down for you. Frieza, not even moving from his own chair, tells his minions to go do his dirty work. Whenever Frieza gets involved, that's when you know things are going to hit the fan. Whenever Frieza even lifts a finger, everyone is in awe. Everyone is in fear. Even the minions, because they know they could just physically die to their own master.
yeah.
And just the writing, the dialogue of Frieza is unmatched.
Hello, monkeys.
The racist emperor.
That's the only line I know of him.
And it's a very true line. It still hasn't. I don't think it will ever go away, the racism from him. But you know what? That's why people love him. Okay, correction. That's why people have respect for him in a villainous way. Because Frieza just does whatever he wants to do. He doesn't respect gods. He doesn't respect his own father. He doesn't respect someone who's beating his ass. He will find a way to be selfish, cunning, and make sure things will go his way. And that's what I feel as if makes him a great villain.
Fair enough.
Now, the ball's in your part. What villain do you think lives up to like being one of those notable villains? In your opinion, of course.
No, for sure. I'd have to go with one off the top of my head. There's two from two different series. One is Doflamingo from One Piece, and the other is Dio from JoJo. Okay, so with Doflamingo, this might be a bit of a hot take. I don't really think it is. I believe he's the best written villain in One Piece.
Of all times.
Huh?
Of all time. Above
As of right
Crocodile.
now,
As of right now.
yeah, Doflamingo, 100%.
Over Crocodile.
Yeah,
Over the
bro,
shark dude.
bro was a warlord and didn't know how to use hockey. He was, excuse me, he was supposed to be a master at his fruit, but didn't know how to awaken. And then you go to what? Enaru. Enaru was too cocky for himself, which is why he lost. Lucci was said to be one of the strongest government agents in the world. Didn't know hockey. Gecko Moria's, I love him, but it's Gecko Moria. Magellan's great, but has no story behind him. Akinu literally just punched a hole. Caesar. Doflamingo's got actual lore and backstory behind him. Katakuri is another contender, but like again, he mostly just kicked ass. You know what I mean? He didn't have a whole like. He had a backstory, but it wasn't as detailed as Dofi.
Big Mom?
Big Mom is just a mess. Kaido is still waiting on that backstory, Yoda. So yeah, I think Doflamingo easily is the He's
So you would choose Doflamingo because they, out of all the villains, this is the one that's been more developed out of all of
100%.
them.
He has the most backstory to him. You learn a lot about him, and he actually does stuff that pisses you off. Like, I guess spoilers for Dressrosa, but he enslaves the entire country. He cuts Law's arm off. Makes people fight each other. That like loved ones. Like he makes Rebecca fight Viola. Like everything. You know what I mean? And he's doing all this while working under Kaido. He's not even the final boss. He's just the dude, which helps in the point of the story amp
So
you
does
up.
that mean that elevates Kaido, or does that elevate
It elevates both in
Doflamingo?
a sense.
So wouldn't you say that means Kaido would be above when it comes to being like a
No,
better
no, it
villain?
makes you scared of Kaido because by how strong Dofi is and how evil he is, you're like, bro, what is Kaido then? Obviously, we don't need to talk about what Kaido actually was, but Doflamingo just easily, and his devil fruit being just a string fruit, and his family with what's her name? With the toy fruit,
Sugar?
sugar, yeah, or the hobby no mi, as it's called.
Oh yeah, the broken
That's what I'm
OP.
saying. The like Doflamingo just has so much detail to it. His backstory about him, and he's also just an actual evil character. Bro killed his brother and his father in cold blood. Went out, like just took over an entire country and basically killed their not killed literally killed but enslaved their king essentially to kill his people.
I don't know, I like his design too. I mean, the
Oh yeah,
glasses,
and he actually has some of the best grip ever.
that fur coat, can't be cheap.
Overall, Dofi's just a great villain, and like also the way he fought, there's like it made sense how he lost. It wasn't just like, oh well, Luffy is so give him a strong punch. It's like no, he fought Law, he fought Luffy, he fought I believe no he didn't fight not Rebecca's father, Kiros or whatever, but he fought a ton of people. And Luffy, he didn't just giant punch him. He giant punched him with a new form, but it was also like the introduction of Gear 4, so.
Wait, but didn't he have to go Gear 4 twice?
Yeah, exactly. Showing like, oh yeah, Luffy has a new form. This is a win. Nope. It's like Dofi's actually strong enough. Well,
Yeah, I was like, unlike Frieza, who got his ass whooped by the first form of Super Saiyan.
there you go. Yeah, and with Dofi, even though people are like, oh well, actually he couldn't handle Gear 4. Luffy just exhausted. He was able to handle it long enough or hold his own long enough to where Luffy would get exhausted before he could actually
Even though Dopey didn't even have like have any plan, any knowing that Gear 4
oh,
was even coming out the woodwork.
exactly.
So I
Well,
guess I mean that just proves how smart he is.
exactly. Yeah, he's a mastermind behind everything. Running Punk Hazard. He's just such a great character. I'm really hoping he breaks out of prison and they do something with him because I feel like his story is way too. It's not done. It could be, and it would make sense, but like I want more.
I want to see the citizens that he ruled over. Maybe not kill him, but at least get their like throw some hands with him,
So you
possibly.
want the people in Dressrosa to die? Is what
To
you're
di-
saying? That was one of the villains that came to mind. The other was Dio. In general, JoJo just has really good villains. If you ask me, Dio obviously the number one.
True, he
In
was
terms
the first one.
of the most iconic, I should say, because I think Pucci is actually the better villain. Um, for lots of reasons, which I will not get into because that is major parts of spoilers. But you know what I'm talking about. Uh,
Yes.
Kira, I think, is such a well written villain because he's a serial killer murderer, but in a weird way, many people can relate to him with his simple lifestyle of just wanting to go every day. He has his schedule. He does what he does, but he has a little hobby, and that's where people might differ. I would hope, but he just lives a normal life.
Wait, then who was the villain in part 5?
Diablo,
Diablo. Okay, yeah, I have pink hair.
yeah, with the two personalities.
Yeah, didn't I would say that villain wasn't
Wasn't
I don't
bad, but
remember.
not
He
memorable.
served the story well.
He served what he did, but like I would say he's definitely on the lower end of JoJo villains.
Yeah, I mean
Until you get to
Dio.
part 7, in which case you meet Bunny Valentine, and if you know, you know. Anyway, part 3, Dio. I think he's really well introduced in part 1. He's an asshole. That's all he is.
A vampire asshole.
No, not at first. He's just an asshole who kicks dogs.
Oh yeah, and steals kisses.
hmm Kills Jonathan's dog.
Beat
Kisses his takes the first kiss of Jonathan's girlfriend. Essentially.
beat Jonathan's ass in public,
Yep, multiple times.
showing that poor boy can beat a rich
Oh,
boy
and,
anytime.
casually tried to kill Jonathan's father so he would get all the wealth and power. Small stuff.
Yeah, the poison. Mm, yeah, I mean
Yeah.
he already killed his father, didn't he?
No.
No, yeah, because like, isn't it like rumored? Or no, Jonathan said like, "Oh, you poison your. That means you must have poisoned your father."
Probably. That makes sense, honestly. I wouldn't be shocked. I don't remember that, but I wouldn't be shocked if that's what happened. But yeah, Dio again, crazy person killed killed what's his name? Jonathan's dog. I can't remember, I just had it, but killed his dog. Uh
Has an
Killed
interest.
Jonathan at the end of spoilers for JoJo, big spoilers. Killed Jonathan at the end of part one and then took his body and used it in part three. Like
And they came up with one of the most interesting power systems.
stopping time is not one of the most interesting power systems, but
Okay, the one of the most memorable, memeable.
yeah, as a world is very memeable, but
I'll say the roller,
hmm?
the roller, the steamroller.
Stop. Anyway, moving on. Another villain. We're not talking about Steamroller. That's my cue. But yeah, Dio and Doflamingo, just in general, remind me of just very when I think of good villains. What about you? What's another one you got?
Me, from a popular series, I want to go from Demon Slayer Akaza.
Interesting. Go off on that.
The villain, all he did was show up, flex that he was number 3,
Yeah.
and immediately the mood changed. He hesitated not for a second to kill Tanjiro.
Hmm.
If it wasn't for plot armor plus Rengoku,
Yeah.
Tanjiro easily would have been dead.
I thought you were calling Rengoku plot armor for a second. I was like, yeah.
Well,
I mean, in that moment.
no. Rengoku, he deserves plot armor. You know what? But still, he went out like a
Well,
badass. He went like a badass. We'll say that.
you're saying deserves for a reason.
The reason is the goat. But without Akaza, he wouldn't be the goat.
Nah, I'm pretty sure he still was.
That's a discussion for another day then.
I'll just say this. On the train, when everyone fell asleep, and Tanjiro and Inosuke were fighting on the roof, and Zenitsu was saving Nezuko, and all that, and we're like, whoa, this is tough. When I literally watched the first time you saw that film with you. You literally, when Rengoku started walking on train, you literally gotta be like, oh!
I think it was when he jumped in the air and just went through like 4 train carts at once.
Yeah, but when he first started walking, he's like, man, I should be ashamed to be a Hashira and falling asleep at a time like this. And you were like, oh, it's about to happen. Like, you hit the full Kevin up. It's about to go down. And I was just like, little do
Which,
you know, something's going down, but it's not what you think it is.
and that even is explained it more. Akaza came in the movie at near the end.
Mm-hmm. Last 30
But do
minutes.
you remember the name of the villain? They fall on the train.
Enmu.
And okay, and do you remember anything really notable about him compared to
Yeah,
Akaza?
he was a train.
Anything else? Was he intimidating at all?
He was the only one of the lower moons to not get killed off by Muzan. Because Muzan gave him some form of respect.
Okay, but what made him a good villain?
I mean, he was overall like I think a good movie. Like he's not like the best villain in Demon Slayer. I think Akaza is way better if that's what you're asking. But I think saying that Enmu wasn't a good villain. You want to talk about a villain that isn't good? The Swamp Demon.
Well, with that one being like a starter villain
Mhm.
for the series, I feel like he did his job well. Like Tanjiro's
What did he do?
masters,
He dragged people underwater, but what else? What did he do when he did that?
he killed
Yeah,
those 2
yeah.
children.
But do you remember anything? What some of his powers?
He had big arms.
Do you not remember he could clone himself?
He could.
Remember he had made 3 of him and fought underwater?
You're talking about that demon.
You don't even
Oh,
know because it's that.
I thought it was the hand demon. Oh, I'm totally okay. I
That's my
messed up.
point. Literally, Demon Slayer has so many like forgettable
Yeah,
villain of the arc.
yeah, I forgot. You're
There's
right.
the
Swamp
one where
Demon
they meet
did.
Inosuke with the drums. There's Ryu, which is on the better side with the
Yeah, spider
spider.
demons. I don't remember really
Yeah,
the
but
mother or the father.
the swamp demon who could go underwater and all that. Like,
I guess
and
Akaza was the first
do you remember
true
arrows
villain
and volleyball?
over Mad.
You don't remember when they first met Demon Girl, who's like, I can heal Nezuko, and then they got attacked by the girl with the balls, and he was like,
Oh
exactly.
my god!
There's so many villains in Demon
Right,
Slayer,
she had like 6 arms, didn't she? And then she went like,
but you forget these characters because the villains that do shine way more. And that's why I was saying, compared to them, I think Enmu served his purpose pretty well in the story.
and
For what
also
it's worth.
we gotta be excited that Akaza will one day come back, unlike all these other demons that are dead.
I mean, yeah, Akaza was like a tease for what's next.
True, and it was a good tease.
I mean, he killed off one of the strongest Ashura, so yeah, I would say he did a pretty good.
He came in with some banger music.
Da, 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 da. Copyright.
Oh, but and he came in with like the his form,
Yeah,
the way he speaks, saying he offered Rengoku to turn him into a
yeah.
demon.
Hey, yo,
Like he's so cocky, he went like, "Yo, bro, you're a Hashira."
bro, yeah, you passed.
Like he put them through initiation
Hey,
and then offered.
he didn't push him through initiation. He saw Rengoku and said, "Game recognized game," and you're looking really familiar right now.
But I guess we both come to an agreement. Akaza came in without
Great villain.
great villain.
As of right now in the anime, great villain. I'll tell you this though, as someone who finished the manga, nowhere near the best.
Really, so it
I
gets
mean,
better.
I feel like as we started with Freeza because it's the most iconic anime villain, one of the most iconic.
All right, true.
The League of Villains is one of the best written group of villains in all of anime as of right now, especially New Gen.
So let's start from the beginning about the League of Villains. In the beginning, it felt like they were just an angsty group of
100%.
just
Bro, it
wannabes.
was just Shigaraki. It was Shigaraki and
Oh yeah,
Kurogiri,
and the Nomus and
USJ
the
incident.
yeah.
Yeah, originally it wasn't much. Like sure, it's like season one, you see them, you're like, okay.
They just like annoying brats. It's like
Season two starts to pick up. It's like
yeah,
oh,
they kidnapped Pachon. Maybe
I know that was season three,
what?
but season two
What did they do?
was during Stain, and then start to see people join them, like
Yo,
Toga, Spinner, Dobby. They're like, we want to join you guys because rada rada rada, and it's like, okay, cool. Season three, they start making moves. They kidnap Bakugo at the training arc or whatever. They attack. They had muscular. They had though. I mean, there's those forgotten League of Villain members were the guy who had the poison mask and had to use a gun. Like
oh yeah, I forgot. And then he
all
got
these
taken down by the
he got taken on right
literal.
away, and like no one remembers him because he was taken on right away.
I mean, he made a good distraction, I
I mean,
guess.
yeah, there was Muscular who like I wish stayed with the league. Um, I mean, he's a really underrated character in my opinion. Had a lot of potential, but
But then
story got a
got plot
story.
armored.
Story got a story.
And
But
I
yeah.
get
Hmm?
so I guess now what
Oh, and what's her
Teleport
name?
didn't Teleport Dude also get captured in the
Kurogiri.
yeah, Kurogiri got captured?
Well, what's her name? The one with the metal,
Metal.
not metal, Magna.
Magna,
That's her
yeah.
name. Yeah, no, Magna was great. And then
Until season 4.
yeah, I mean, then episode one you realize that like overhaul's transphobic, but it's okay. Well, he got what he deserved, but
I mean, he doesn't like when people touch him, that's all.
anyway,
What?
I don't like where this conversation's going.
What?
But
So, but
yeah,
the I can see what you mean. The League of Villains grew from
they felt like
underrated
an
to
angsty group of teens that grew up, especially if you're watching season six of the anime right now, grew up to be like the biggest threat to Japan right now. And I love that. It's like I mean, everyone likes the underdog story, but this time it's the reverse. I mean, no, it's a parallel actually.
hell,
As
they even got
Deku,
their own season. They even got their own
yeah, My Villain Academia, which the anime ruined, but we don't need to talk about that.
but
But
still like it contributes to the fact that they
are
are now
great.
like villains. Like they should be
I
taken
think
serious.
Dobby is one of the most realist villain character. Like not in terms of relatability. I mean, I guess if you have daddy issues, but in
But
general, just like
to that
his,
extreme.
it takes like I guess what I was thinking about earlier with Doflamingo, how the reason why is because you understand Doflamingo's mindset. You don't agree with it because you're like you realize what he's doing is really messed up, but you can understand where he's coming from. Similar to with Dobby, where it's like after learning his backstory, you're like, oh, I 100% understand why he does everything he's doing. It makes sense because if you were put in that situation, you'd probably end up the same way. But you don't agree. I mean, you could. I like Dobby a lot as a character.
I mean,
I
if
don't
you're
like
an
Endeavor,
Endeavor
so
hater, then you probably
yeah,
would agree with Dobby.
yeah. But my point
But
is, you can understand where Dobby's coming from. It's not just oh, I'm angsty and mad at Endeavor for the sake of being mad, and he has an actual reason. He has a really effed up backstory for who he is.
all right, I say like out of the
Especially out of
group, I
Endeavor's.
say the main villains or the main ones that I love were Shigaraki,
Oh yeah,
Dobby. I don't know the what why I don't know why her name is slipping me.
Toga.
Toga, yeah. I don't know why, but I don't really see her as a villain.
She isn't.
She isn't.
I mean,
She's a saint follower. I know that much.
she's a same follower, but I don't think a lot of the league are villains. Like I understand they are in the official term, but mostly I think Toga, and that's what I like about the league. They're misunderstood.
Except for Sugar,
Togo,
I think Shigaraki is straight up.
I mean, as a kid, he got pretty. He didn't ask for that quirk. The dad or uncle he lived with was abusive. His mom left him to go be a hero, and no one explained it to him except that she has to go now. Like there was a lot that Shigaraki did. Again, everyone was misunderstood and put in unfortunate situations. Toga literally didn't ask. Like people just hated her. She's a high school student. like say, or like same as Deku, that we're actually same age as them. Only thing is, her quirk involves blood, so she's has an obsession with blood. She likes to drink blood of like dead animals, etc., etc. People were like, "Oh, you're weird. That's creepy." Because if you're like in our world, if someone did that, that'd be really weird.
Oh yeah, that'd be
But
outcast.
but that's her quirk. That's something that she couldn't control. So the society deemed her as weird, while they were also praising other people because their quirks were quote
Okay,
cool.
but they also have a teammate that is brainwashed. Totogiri,
Kurogiri.
Kurogiri, like or someone who's
I mean, we
brainwashed,
don't
brought
know how
back from
much
the
they know.
dead.
We don't know how much they know about that. As far as they're concerned, it's like, oh, they joined. Oh yeah, Kurogiri. This is Shigaraki's friend.
How many people have they killed?
Dabi's killed 30 innocent people.
That and Shigaraki nuked.
Shigaraki. The numbers are in the billions.
I think the only one that's kind of like maybe could stand trial and survive is Spinner.
I mean, manga readers, but
Okay, as right now in the anime season 6, I think his only one
and
that
Mr.
could.
Compressed is fine. What homeboy do?
He kidnapped Bakugo.
Okay,
That's stealing a child. That's a criminal right there.
I never said they weren't criminals.
Well,
I said, but like you said, who has he killed? He's the
uh,
only one who's innocent.
yeah, touche. He
Say
did lose
that.
an arm too, so.
Yeah. If anything,
But,
Spinner killed during. Remember didn't he kill him Villain Academia when he was surrounded and
mm,
then twice saved him? But he was like
mm.
stabbing people
Oh,
through the back.
twice. We almost forgot him. Yeah.
One of my favorite characters. Literally the definition of a misunderstood character. Again, the League is there's such great villains, not because like oh they're villains and they do evil stuff like Doflamingo or Freeza, because those characters we like as villains because they're so evil. The League I love is because they're evil, but not because they were born that way or because that's just their nature, but because society pushed them to that. Shigaraki, Toga, Dabi, or Spinner even. Like those are great examples.
Oh,
What
yeah.
is it? Shigaraki, by his family always neglecting him and getting a quirk that he didn't ask for, and unfortunately falling into the hands of All for One. Toga, a person who
Oh,
was
and Shigaraki, I just realized, did wasn't the reason that all this happened was because his mom didn't want him to go like realize who she was.
yeah, exactly. And then what is it? She separated him from him without no one gave him an explanation, and then left him with an abusive parent.
So
And even his sister,
it
like,
backfired I mean,
yeah,
tremendously.
what is it? But like Toga, she's literally just a misunderstood person with a quirk that is deemed as weird. So I guess she's an outcast. Dabi literally went through hell and back, and by an abusive father as Endeavor, who, come on, I mean, it never had it coming.
Yeah,
Spinner was deemed as an outcast because
Korra never like.
he's a mutant core user because like he's not human looking.
Oh yeah,
He looks
the
like a rejected Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
what about Compress? What was his story?
Spoilers,
Spoilers.
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 Yeah, you find out I think next episode actually though. So
Oh,
yeah.
oh, that
Uh,
makes it pretty good then.
who
Good
else was there
timing.
though? I mean Magna.
Like what about Smoke Dude?
Oh,
Poison Dude, who was there for the kidnapping of Bakugo?
I think he was just like a mad kid. I don't remember him to be honest. Muscular, weird as it is to say, he is also misunderstood. He likes to fight and kill for the sake of killing. Obviously, that's wrong, and for obvious reasons. But his quirk is muscular. It gives him. Imagine you were given so much strength and you weren't allowed to use it. That would drive you
So
crazy,
that's to become a bodybuilder.
huh?
People just become bodybuilders then.
But imagine you didn't ask for that body.
Mm.
You were just given all that. And
So you could say that the League of Villains was created based off the society that was made
oh
off
yeah,
of quirks.
because it's literally their goal is correct. The hero society they live in is corrupt, and it's not fair to all the people, despite how much they want to put a bandage over that and say it is. It's very has so many flaws, and the villains in the League of Villains really demonstrate that really well. They all show a different side of how society felt by
And
each
they
of
kind
them
of like
existing.
reverse the script and show how the heroes are the villains.
If you truly live in a perfect hero society, then there shouldn't be any villains because everyone should be happy and saved all the time.
Oh yeah,
But understand, you can't have a hero society without villains because without villains, there's no heroes.
yeah. Everyone's at equals,
Exactly. So
which
they play the role of what everyone wants to. They want a hero society. Well, you need villains to.
I mean I can't argue with that.
Yeah, I mean that's why I like My Hero has its ups and downs and more downs. But if there's one thing I can say is so positive about it, it's the way it writes the League of Villains because those characters are truly some of the best written characters I've seen in a long time.
But there's actually you actually kind of reminded me of a different villain.
Who?
Little surprise one. Hunter x Hunter, Meruem. all the way at the end of Hunter x
No, I know
Hunter.
who he is. Well, how does that remind you? Explain.
Well, because it was near the end of the Hunter x Hunter fight when he had to fight the Grand Elder, you could say, um
Yeah,
Netero,
yeah, Netero.
Netero, and how it looked like how Meryl looked to be like the protagonist in a way, and how Netero
Netero.
looked to be like the villain, so demonic at the end.
I mean,
But you all
yeah, I can see where you're coming from, I guess. But
Meryl literally after learning the kind of how what he did was wrong, how he didn't get like any fair trial, how immediately human race decided we need to kill him.
I mean, yeah. Again, misunderstood, but to be fair, a lot of things are misunderstood.
Even though I'll admit he did do a lot wrong by killing
Yeah,
so many people and like becoming so
I
like
think
stealing so much net.
I don't know how to say this without sounding weird or sounding like the difference between League of Villains and Miriam. He was born with the purpose of being an evil leader, who so happened another well-written villain. I'm shocked I didn't even think of him, but he's a villain. He's a character who's born to be a villain who learned past those ways. The League of Villains are people who were lived in just a society that society turned into villains.
Mm.
Miriam was born into the villainhood, I guess. Whereas
Was he born to villain or was he just
remember
born?
his
Oh
mom,
right, the mom. Yeah,
his
you're
mom was
right.
like, "Oh, he'll be the perfect king to take over and kill all the humans."
Yeah, you're
But
right.
then the League of Villains were literally just normal kids. What is it, Dobby when he was a kid, Togo when she first got her quirk. All these people who were just normal everyday people, and then boom, society deemed them as weird because they're quirks or whatever.
Or like unnatural.
Yeah, or it wasn't what they wanted in Dobby's kid. Like the point is, it's they were just normal people who got turned into villains by society, and then society deems them as you know what I mean, bad people, even though society was the one who did that to them.
But I don't know why, but my mind is just going crazy. Aaron Yeager.
But do you guys stay safe?